Okay, so the Gen 7 Pokemon art has given me two of my favorite pieces of Pokemon trivia. The first one being that Charjabug is actually a Grubbin inside of a box, and the second one being that a Alolan Sandshrew is used in Pokemon curling. That's amazing, guys. So I went a little bit out of order because I wanted to lead the video with this because it is so cool. So showing like how Sandshrew works. It's like an igloo Pokemon, but in so many different levels. So it can like super curl up into a ball. It can like partially curl and slide around and stuff. It becomes just a frozen tail of spinniness and hate, and then just kind of showing off everything else. Looks like it's got a helmet. Like that's like when we look at it from below, it's actually more connected. It's not like its head is has like more padding on the chin or anything. So that's pretty cool stuff. Sandshrew is a cool Pokemon. I like Sandshrew Sandslash, and I'm really happy to see like the evolution, or not the evolutions, but the Alolan forms and all that stuff coming through. Now, even though I've already done like 2.5 videos on this, we still have a long way to go. Alolan Meowth, it's sassy, it's all prissy like that and stuff, and it wants to be dramatic. So if you get its little coin dirty, it will kill you. Got it. I think we saw this with one of the other concept art. I don't exactly remember who it was, but it's like, if you mess with the Pokemon, it's gonna lash out, and we see that with the Alolan Meowth. Mimikyu! Alright, now we get to check out, like, the full spread for the Mimikyu concept art, because we've seen a lot of it. Like, okay, Mimikyu attacking, we've seen that before, disguise broken, Mimikyu outside of its disguise, hopping back into its disguise is new, and then all of the different angles. Mimikyu is such a fascinating Pokemon just from how it's designed, and I feel like Game Freak intentionally does it to like screw with us, because when Mimikyu's walking around, its head looks like it's looking at things, even though it's actually, this is Mimikyu. The eyes, that's the Pokemon itself, but the actual like Pikachu doll is looking around and like interacting with the environment, and it's just crazy how it does that. So kind of just showing like how Mimikyu looks from the side. Awesome. I love all of it, guys. It's so cool. So I think they did a really good job, and then also showing that the more concept art we see of a Pokemon, the more likely it is to have some kind of impact or to be important in some degree. Minior, also a lot of information and details going into Minior just because of like how complex it is. That's a dual form Pokemon, so that's going to be something just kind of having to make sure it's a very coherent Pokemon because of how weird it is. Like, I remember that it spins around and its eyes do loopy things. It's all over the place. So then showing like how it is inside of its shield form, it as a star crashing down from the outer space. Is it an atmospheric Pokemon, or does it like slightly orbit Earth? I don't remember like the Pokedex entry behind Minior, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's a Pokemon that's just like, it's one of those cosmic alien Pokemon, and they found a way to work it in pretty well in 7th generation. Then we get to check out Morello. So Morello actually is like a root. I think we could have like kind of assumed that, even though mushrooms, they do have a root system with like the mycelium in a way. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And then what we saw with Lurantis and Formantis, that a lot of these Pokemon in the wild, in the forest, they have like a forced flower kind of natural form, and then it turns out that they're a Pokemon. So they get scared, it pops out, it's got some lights. I like Morello, and I like Shiinotic. They're pretty neat Pokemon to me. Dude, Mudbray. They got that little horse face going on. That's creepy. Showing how stubborn, how strong of a Pokemon can be. So we have, you know, this buff guy, can't even budge it. Also, look at the amount. It's definitely a workhorse. It can carry and hold a lot of things. It can also buck. It actually has a lot of personality. It's a mule. Like, that's the way that you can see it. It's a mule. It's also kind of represented as like a super powerful creature, because Pokemon, you know, we got lizards that breathe fire, so everything in the real world as a Pokemon would just be like cranked up to 15 or something, and we see that like with Mudbray, it's like, yeah, even though it's a pre-evolution, it's still a very strong and powerful thing. As we go into the Mudsdale's big, so actually showing that that's what it looks like inside of its little fluffiness, so it's got that Clydesdale aspect going on, eye poses, and then when it bucks and throws like a massive rock in your face. Cool. We see the Alolan Muck, so with Grimer, you know, that those are like just crystallized toxins, and they can pop off and stuff. So it's Muck. It's gonna be amorphous sludge. Gotta have a couple of angles on that amorphous sludge, and then, oh, hey, we actually have like how the colors work. So there's a blue ring between each color, and it cycles from pink, orange, yellow. I'm pretty sure someone could have like easily determined that just by looking at it, but it's nice to have this as a quick little guide instead. Naganadel. Lot on Naganadel. I feel like that Poipole is going to evolve and do some pretty crazy stuff for like against the Necrozma fight if that's up and coming, or maybe the Guzzlord fight if that gets out of hand. So no tusk with, okay, so yeah, showing like behind the tusks and stuff. All the facial expressions, eyes closed, the eyes are illuminated. So we saw this with the Poiple concept art, that actually the eyes glow in the dark. Dragon. So yeah, it's just a crazy bee, dragon, poison, spitting needle thing. Cool. I think I already showed this one off, but I like just like showing off the Nihilego, because what happens to Pikachu, it's freaky. Then we have the Alolan Ninetales, just kind of like showing the differences between Ninetales and Alolan. So regular form, Alolan form, regular ears, Alolan ears, so kind of showing the difference, showing off how beautiful, elegant the Pokemon looks. Its tails actually have their own separation. Then the front on view, that's pretty cool. Oranguru, we got Pokemon Trainer Oranguru, guys, watch out. Yeah, I guess just as an ape-like Pokemon, you can give those more human characteristics, like the 5 fingers on the hand, a small little opposable thumb. It can hold a Pokeball, and it's the Forest Guru, and it makes drinks and stuff. Man, we have Palossand. So Palossand is what it is. So showing what it looks like when it moves, it leaves a trail behind. It's a sandy, wonky kind of Pokemon. And then this is Palossand from behind. This is Palossand from the front. So wherever the eyes are facing, that's where that Pokemon is. It is weird to think about because, yeah, that those holes go all the way through. It's a very, like, symmetrical Pokemon minus the eyes, so it's kind of hard to determine where it might be looking. Then we get into Pick-a-Peck, and I like Pick-a-Peck. When I first saw Pick-a-Peck, I was so excited for the Pokemon. We have this cute little woodpecker bird, and he's so adorable, man. So yeah, that's it, using bullet seeds, so it can shoot out the bullet seeds, punches holes in things. It makes itself a nice little happy home. The happy Pick-a-Peck, and then just, you know, it's a woodpecker. And there's a lot of comical designs and a lot of, like, comical ways that woodpeckers are shown. So just, like, there, just drills through whatever it wants, creates problems, done. I don't know what they're getting at with this head design. I guess just kind of, like, showing that, you know, it's not, I think it means, like, it's not just straightforward, that there's wispiness to it, you know, there's a nice little flow to the head design into the neck of the Pick-a-Peck. We have Poplio. So we've seen a lot of this with Poplio. You know, splashes down. It's a very happy performing Pokemon. Splashes onto the Litten, makes it upset. Rowlet flies away. Oh, it's so sad. Oh my god, it's so sad. Don't be sad, Poplio. You the best starter. Poplio is best starter. Fight me. I think did they do that with Poplio Mine? Like, I don't think the other starters are crying and stuff. They don't show that sadness. A lot of emotional development of this Pokemon. And I think it's funny because a lot of the fan art was like, don't be sad that everyone hates you. You're gonna be beautiful one day and everyone will love you. Yay! The fan art predicted it. Or not the fan art, the concept art predicted it. We have Pyukumuku. So this must have been a really fun sketch sheet to draw. Just like, yeah, we're gonna be throwing, like, showing off its hands, peace out, punch, fun stuff. There's already been a lot about Pyukumuku, and there's not really a lot extra that you can add on to it because it is a very simple design Pokemon. But it is a fun concept art page. With the Alolan Raichu showing the differences between the ears and the tail between regular Raichu. It's psychic. Oh, it can create, like, oh, that's a cool effect. When you think about, yeah, as a psychic Pokemon, psychic electric, it can create electric energy and then, like, manipulate it psychically. So it's a very amazing contest Pokemon. That's actually a cool thing to think about. Is, like, it can create shapes out of electricity using its telekinetic powers while also flying and then zooming and zipping around. One of my friends did point out it doesn't make sense that Pikachu becomes psychic, but overall, if you accept, for some reason it's a psychic Pokemon, it actually has, like, a lot of cool representation because it surfs around and stuff. I don't think its desire to be a surfing Pikachu would create some kind of, like, psychic evolution for it. But overall, it does make a lot of sense, and it even just, like, rests on its tail. So very tail-focused, very surfing-focused, and its psychic energy can play a lot into its design. Then we have Faticate, or Raticate. I don't know if we've actually decided on what the name is for this Pokemon as a community, but there we go. Some pretty cool stuff showing, like, the different facial expressions and fatness. I don't know. That's actually pretty cool. You know, I do like the lore behind Alolan Rattata, and I think Alolan Rattata does look kind of cool with its little mustache and how it's darker and has, like, the spikier designs and stuff behind it. So that's the totem. You know, we got the squad showing up, ready to bust in and steal your food or something, and that it is a nocturnal Pokemon, so street lights, car lights, it'll give it that little shading effect. That's pretty nice. Rowlet. Rowlet, it's just the coconut owl that everyone loves and enjoys, and it's just happy on a little branch over there, very, very chill and comfortable, doing its own little thing. So yeah, there's no sad Rowlet, there's no sad Litten, but man, sad Poplio's depressing. It can spin its head around 180 degrees, and then it can still shoot its little quills, so that's the leafage attack. Not bad. There's the Sand Slash. So Alolan Sand Slash doesn't have as much going for it as the Alolan Sandshrew. Like, that is something that you see quite a bit of, that the pre-evolution, they're going to have a lot more interaction. That, you know, kids, it's going to be a lot more common for these Pokemon to exist. So a lot more people are going to be interacting with the pre-evolution, therefore we need to show off a bit more about the pre-evolution, even though the evolution of the Pokemon might be a bit more complex. Seeing this with the Sand Slash that apparently has spines under those frozen cones, which is pretty interesting. Same for its head. So it's like there's a Sand Slash under it, and that's encased in ice. So it actually has like 2 layers of adaptation, which is pretty interesting. Oh no, Pikachu, why? Actually, one thing we didn't see on the Palossand was that concept art from the Pokemon website where it's like Pikachu is getting devoured by the Palossand as it gets like sucked into the void. So yeah, kids try to stick their arms in it and they have like their souls sucked out, and then Pikachu, oh, gone. It can just kind of melt into sand if it wants to, and then from behind. So yeah, Sandygast from behind is not as hard to distinguish as the Sandygast or as the Palossand from behind. Shiinotic, dude, Shiinotic's crazy. It becomes a lamp. It also is just freaky. It's just so freaky. Oh, so that's okay. Shiinotic in its plant form is not as convincing as Lurantis, Formantis, Morello, or even Bounsweet or any of those other Pokemon. Like, imagine if you just, like, walked up, you saw that sleeping against a tree. Run. Because first off, their flickering lights will get you lost in the forest forever, and then they'll potentially kill you. And then Pikachu is just like, ooh, shiny, bright. It's weird, but again, like, the mushroom Pokemon design for this one is done pretty well. Silvally, just kind of showing off all the different designs for Silvally. How Silvally looks without its head thing. So yeah, the thing is, I didn't like that on Type Null. I didn't like how it just became, like, one wing just like glued onto Silvally's head. It works for the design, but if you think about it too much, it starts sounding and getting really dumb, at least for me. But yeah, without it, it also looks kind of weird. I think it also didn't need that hair. Like, that hairline's a little poorly shapen bowl cut that makes it look dorky. But at the same time, like, it all works together. It has, like, these weird aspects, and just at first glance, or just kind of, like, taking its design initially, it's like, yeah, that's actually still pretty cool. But once you start breaking it down, it gets a little too much. And then we look at it from above. Dang, Silvally's thick. Like, look at that. Look at that bulk in the shoulders, as well as the hind legs. That's pretty crazy. And then also showing off, like, the articulation and its different design parts. Silvally with drives, color changes. Alright, Tapu Fini. Did we show Tapu Fini last time? I think we might have. It was just one of the more interesting looking ones, same with Tapu Lele. So Tapu Bulu, Tapu Koko, not as interesting to see from the concept art. But when it comes to like Tapu Fini and Tapu Lele, there's actually a lot that goes on with them. So I guess they have a bit more elegance. There's a bit more that needs to be portrayed with them. And then it looks like whenever Tapu Lele is inside of its little shell, it's not supposed to have the hair like looped down. It always just stands up. So I guess kind of like Antenna, it maybe uses that to kind of use its psychic power to sense if there's any danger or something. Also, the black part, that is its body, just kind of like smushes around as needed. And that looks a little questionable, but that's also the bottom of the shell for Tapu Lele. You dirty, dirty-minded people. What else do we have? Togedemaru. So Togedemaru, there's a lot with Togedemaru because it interacts with Ash's Pikachu quite a lot in the anime. Also, there's a lot going on with it. It's the Pika clone. It's happy. It does its thing. So you're going to have to make sure it is represented pretty well to not just only be known as a Pika clone. Togedemaru, it can draw in lightning attacks, so that's something. And then it can redistribute it, so we've seen that happen before as well. I mean, it is a really good combo. You know, it's like Pikachu shoots electricity, and then Togedemaru can just distribute it however it wants to, and just bam! Wreck the Oshawott, Piplup, and Pikapek. Huh. I don't know what those Pokemon are doing there. It's kind of random, but yeah, there we go. And then it can curl up in a little ball if it's all worried, and yay. It's adorable. Whenever I first saw Togedemaru, I thought it was cute. We got a cool little, like, hedgehog electric Pokemon. And it balls up into like an electrically defensive lightning rod. That's kind of neat. So Torracat's pretty cool as well because it uses the organ. So yeah, it's like a fire-producing organ that's just exposed on like a collarish design around its neck. So that's interesting, but it can just generate fire from that. And it can just like pull fire out of its neck and then throw it at things. So Pikachu gets wrecked. I think that's pretty cool. Then got showing all of the other designs for Torracat. So I like it. I think it actually does a lot of cool things. And then much like with the Incineroar, if the Pokemon gets passionate or like fired up or ready to attack, the flames actually grow. Nice. Toucannon, pretty much just advanced Pick-a-Peck with how hard it can shoot off attacks. And then it has like that fire steamingness to it, while it's also very watchful over its young. And then Beak Blast. Nice. So it's like it charges, it just focuses. Bing. Fire. That's pretty cool. Toxapex. So Toxapex, yeah, again, a very intricate Pokemon. So the body of Toxapex is actually really weird because it does hang down a bit more, and then it swings inside of its little shell. So it's pretty crazy design. Since it is so competitively strong, I really like it. Just in general, like Toxapex really grew on me because it's like, man, that's a bunkerish, hateful tank that kills people with absurdly strong poison. So that's pretty cool stuff. Trumbeak. Trumbeak is like a machine gun when it comes to how it shoots, and it puckers its lips. So it's just spit all over them, take them out with that skill link ability. Well, I guess that also shows like either a running pose or maybe like a machine gun kind of just like steadies itself and then just like blasts out the seeds that it uses for attack. Turtonator is pretty crazy because showing off the shell traps. So Pikachu, once again, as always, getting bullied, but I guess, you know, it just wait, and then it laughs. It snickers it off. It's like hee 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 poo. So it can shoot fire out of its nose. Got it. It is a pretty awkwardly designed Pokemon. Also, I think Type Null gets a lot less screen time in the anime because, like, it becomes Silvally pretty early on as we interact with Gladion. We have Vikavolt right here. So showing a lot going on with Vikavolt, carrying the Charge Bug around. Just all of the extra little design bits behind the Vikavolt are pretty interesting. And then, yeah, it does the same thing as, like, the Alolan Golem. It just creates charges, focuses up insane amounts of like, just power, and then shoots it out. That's pretty cool. Electric railgun shenanigans. The Alolan Vulpix breakdown is a little basic, but still pretty cute. I like it. We have Wimpod. So Wimpod, much like the Golisopod, it's effectively what you see. It's a weird bug Pokemon under a shell, and it's a little weird. So Wishiwashi is actually really cool. So I like Wishiwashi. I'm going to show the non-schooled form first because it kind of shows like how Wishiwashi schools up. Those tears, sad little Wishiwashi. Actually, the tears, like they reflect light from the sun, and then that shows, hey, I'm in trouble, guys. And all the other little sad Wishiwashi, they come together because they don't like being alone and scared, and if they really need to, they can school up and then become strong. So that's actually like a really nice part of its design. It looks like a sad, worried, like little sardine scared Pokemon. It can look angry, it can look fierce, it can have emotion to it, and then boom, just school up, big bad boy right there. So that's pretty awesome. Then we get into the Xurkitree, so kind of showing like the trees that, you know, in Xurkitree's Ultra Space, they're effectively like a tree. They plant down and they just do electric, crazy, chargy, discharge things. We also have the rest of the concept art. I think I already covered this, but just kind of like, oh, it's cable ties and it can spread out its hands, and then it uses the metal inside of its hands to conduct electricity and then shoot out electric attacks. So it could either discharge electricity through its head or through its hands. Dangerous Ultra Beast right there. Showing the Yungoos facing off against the Alolan Rattata. That's their enemies. That's how they do. I like happy little Yungoos, you know, just grabbing an Oran Berry, running around. It can sniff out, and it can also show various emotions. So it's weird because the way that its mouth is, it's just kind of like, grrr, like that's how you imagine it forever. But it actually is a pretty expressive little dude, and looks like that was the last one. So there we go, guys. I think between like the 3.5 videos I did, because we showed the Ultra Beast off first, then we got the first batch, and now this was the second batch showing off the rest of them. There's like 3 other videos. It's crazy. But I hope you guys enjoyed getting a look at the designs behind the 7th generation. And that's kind of it. So you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.